know, and what we're going to talk about here is what we call art meets reality. We take our traditional arts and we talk about street defense. And so a lot of times when we look at our forms and we're doing these wonderful, nice, elongated movements, we think about these forms and we think, what good does that do? Well, all of us came from, hopefully, all of us came from some sort of traditional base. Many times we get into martial arts, especially nowadays with all the UFC and you know, and I like the shorts, by the way, the MMA stuff, is that we get a lot of these people who say, well, I can jump right in the ring, right? Well, what they don't realize is that all of us have had years and years of practice in many different traditional arts before we even step aside of some sort of full contact engagement. What we want to do is we want to take this art meets reality philosophy, and we want to take some of those traditional arts and pull that into some street defense and some combat applications. Okay, so many times when we're looking at encounters, we see a variety of different things. But what we like to do is we like to pull it back to kind of police reports and FBI information. As we looked at a lot of the background information on aggravated assaults, which is what we're primarily working in martial arts for, is self-defense. What we've seen is that out of about 80% of those aggravated assaults, if you were talking about the United States, let's say on a national level, we're talking about 1 million aggravated assaults a year. Okay, so think about your percentages. How likely are you going to be involved in that? Okay, as we bring that down from those 1 million a year, about 80% of those are not involving a weapon, a firearm. Okay, they're involving blunt weapons and knives, and mostly hand-to-hand assaults. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is some hand-to-hand assaults, and we've got a few different things that we're going to get into that pulls out of what we call our 7 deadly sins, street combat fighting, okay, which is there's 7 assaults that are the primary assaults that we have to deal with. Okay? Now, a lot of times we go to seminars, we deal with these kind of haymaker punches, okay, and we deal with techniques off of them. We deal with pushes, we deal with grabs, okay, and those are the kinds of things that are the basis of our self-defense. Okay, we also get into broken bottles and knives and that kind of stuff and headlocks. What we're going to focus on primarily today is that instant engagement, okay, when somebody really gets a hold of you. Okay, let me grab somebody from the crowd here. Okay, a lot of times when we get into assaults, it's not back here where we can do our fancy techniques. Okay, yeah, I can do all that stuff too, but what I want to be able to do is be engaging in this instant combat. Okay, if I'm in an assault situation, I may not know it's coming. Okay, a lot of times when I teach seminars, I deal with the after effect. Okay, somebody throws a strike at me, okay, and how I end up and where I can do a technique from there. Now, what we're going to start with is we're going to start with a scenario of an attacker coming to you, jacking you up, okay? And from here, the next assault is not necessarily a hand, okay, but it might be the head. Okay, so we're going to use that primarily. As this person comes at me, he's going to jack me up, I'm in a bad position, I'm going backwards, okay, and then he's going to come in with that headbutt. Right? Now, for those of you who have not experienced a headbutt, okay, it can be one of the most devastating strikes that you get hit with. Okay? Instead of the hands, instead of the knees coming up, what we've got is this person coming in, throwing that head straight into you. Okay, so what's the primary defense from that? We're just going to deal with that person coming in, straight in, pushing us backwards, okay, and then coming with the headbutt. Okay, so what's primary defense from here? I want to make sure I've got good position. I'm pulling back from here. I'm going to make sure I've got good balanced position. I'm going to make sure that I protected myself. So the first thing that's going to happen is those hands are going to come up. Okay, from here, what we're going to go into is we're going to go into techniques to disable the opponent from here. Okay, taking the opponent out, going to a neck crank. Okay, so from here as the person comes in, boom, I'm defending myself. Okay, I set up position. Okay, I can strike in, I can come around, I can strike in, I can put in position for a neck crank. Okay, so what I want you to start with your opponent here is just pushing back and forth, get a little warm up here. Okay, pushing back and forth, get a good grab. As he grabs me here and he comes in for the headbutt, I want to make sure I'm protecting. So I'm going to get my hands in front. That's the first thing I want you to do, break up in partners, okay, and set it up so that we can go into striking.
All right, work time, let's go. All right, Wallace is outside kicking. Lewis is outside punching. Buckland is phone booth fighting, okay? Like Mike Tyson footwork. Hands facing you, right? That kind of Sanchin position. So just keep in mind about those ranges while you're moving, and remember what you do. She drives you back, right? Drive me back, boom. Weights 50-50, 10% forward. Okay, good. Work time.